go. Another edition of Knicks Weekly presented by KnicksFanTV.com. Knicks go 2-1 on the campaign, and a tough week what they got through with their shirts. So we're going to recap the week, plus more trade rumors. The Knicks reportedly want OG Anunoby. We're going to talk about that dish on our trade proposals, hear from you guys, the fans. And James Dolan went out there on a press tour this past week. He didn't come to KnicksFanTV.com, but it's all good. We will react to the Dolan interview, a couple of interesting sound bites out of that. We'll react to it, get your reactions to it. Number one show for the fans, by the fans. Knicks Weekly, episode 46. CP the franchise, Alex Rotaro, Stratocast in the building. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to our channel members. And salute to all the Knicks fans worldwide, man. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. And here we go. Let's kick it off. Not talking about football anymore. I'm good.
You don't want to talk about the Empire State Building?
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about the NFC Championship game. I'm good. I'm done with football. I'll watch the Super Bowl. And that's it, man. I'll get ready for next year. I'm done with football, man.
Okay.
I'm done. Anyway, how was your weekend, man? How you feeling, bro?
I would talk about football with you, but you don't want to talk about football.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, but otherwise, it was a solid weekend. Just chilled. Didn't really do much else. Watched some Knicks basketball, as you know. Watched some basketball in general. Caught that Lakers-Celtics game after the Knicks game. How dramatic. Although I understand why LeBron's pissed off. But I'm just saying that was some.
Everybody's getting LeBron. I'd be tight too. I'm the king of the league. I'm going after Kareem's record. I'm 38 years old and dominating everybody. What do you have? Another 40-point game?
Yeah, probably.
And right in front of the baseline referee, I get hacked, which pretty much was the reason for why I missed the layup, an easy layup.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been pissed too, because I know that my old ass going into overtime, I don't have enough in the tank, and now I got to rely on Patrick Beverley and all these guys to get it done. You knew once the game was going into overtime, the Lakers had no shot at it. So they got robbed.
That's probably why he was ranting and raving about it too, because he knew. He was like looking around like, AD's probably tired. He just got back from an injury. He's like, I got to rely on Pat Bev.
Yeah.
Lonnie Walker.
Man.
Woof. Dennis Schroeder.
Right. You got to carry these guys for 48 minutes, and now an extra 5. I would have been tight too, man.
You know what? Maybe Clutch should be better about building a team.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Maybe you think about how well-rounded they were before when you had Kuzma and Caruso.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't go help everybody who's under your agency. Who knows? maybe then LeBron would have enough support to get across the finish line.
Well, you know what that means with all the blown calls, and the NBA was so apologetic. Forget the last 2-minute report.
But, of course, for LeBron James.
Yeah, forget the last 2-minute report, which comes out the next day. They came out that night and said, "Yeah, we messed up. We know people are going to have sleepless nights over this. It's not our fault. We didn't bet on the games. Tim Donaghy was lying." They said all that stuff. But you know what's going to happen? They're going to make it up to him tomorrow night at MSG and give him a ton of calls, a ton of respect, and they're going to take it out on the Knicks.
He'll score whatever 100 some odd points to pass Kareem's record tomorrow, because that's how many calls he's going to get.
He'll break Kareem's record at the Garden, 117 points. He took off tonight against the bum-ass Nets.
He's probably going to they might give him Wilt Chamberlain's record of over 100 points in one game tomorrow.
Yeah. That's what they're going to do. They're going to take it out on us, man. You're going to see Julius pick up 2 fouls in a minute. He goes to the bench. LeBron goes off. AD goes off. That's how they're going to make it up to him, man.
Oh, man. Well, I hope it doesn't go that way.
People are saying he might be out for it. I don't know. What are you hearing on your end? People are saying he might be out. I doubt it.
I don't think he's going to be out, man. You're going to tell me he's going to miss playing at Madison Square Garden again?
I can't see it.
Again? Didn't he miss last year too? You were at that game last year, right?
I was. He did miss last year. You did.
Yeah, 2 years in a row he's not going to be playing at MSG. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I can't see it. I think AD intends to play. I know his whole family, his wife's from New York, so his whole family has tickets to this game.
All right.
I know that. So I would have to think he's going to play. But, we'll see. They missed the Nets game tonight.
Everybody seems like they missed the Nets game tonight.
Yeah. They didn't want to play against a bum-ass Nets. They want to come to MSG and light it up. They want to be fresh. That's my thinking here. So we'll see by tomorrow. I'll be at the game tomorrow night. If you guys are in the chat or watching on the replay gang, if you guys are in the building, hit me up. Link up and do the damn thing. Anyway, Al, 2-1 this week. And that's a good sign. A lot of people were doom and gloom on this past week. You saw the Cavaliers on the schedule. You saw Boston, number 1 seed in the East. And then even the Nets, who we've lost 8 in a row to, now 9. A lot of people said 0-3. But you don't play the games on paper. You play them on the court. And they start out the week getting 2 of their best wins of the season. Against the Cavs, against the Celtics. And they weren't easy games by any stretch. That Cavs game, there were so many ebbs and flows to that game. It was a 12-round fight in both wins. They faced a lot of adversity. They faced some obstacles. And they came out victorious. Especially in the Celtics game. Especially in the Celtics game with that game going into overtime. But nevertheless, they weathered the storm. And then the Nets one, look, you have a top 3-point shooting team in the league against one of the worst 3-point defending teams in the league. It was a bad one. And as Julius said, they weren't ready. And it showed. Just looked like they were just half steps slow, especially on the defensive rotations. And they put up a stinker. So that was one. 9 in a row. Obviously, this week, Julius was once again at the top of his game. Wasn't as great against the Nets, but again, I think that was a whole team. But against the Celtics, just incredible, dominant, all-star performance. So I thought he had a great week. Brunson chipped in. I thought RJ chipped in as well. He had good play from the bench, at least in the first 2 games. IQ's had a great week. I thought IQ had a great week on both ends. Hartenstein is definitely starting to show up. He's trending upwards. McBride had his moments in the Cavs and Celtics game. Nets game, not so much. I think Obi's chipped in here and there. It was a good week. What'd you think about it?
I thought it was a good week. You talked about you're talking about playing against 3 teams this week that are in the playoffs, top 5 of the Eastern Conference, or top 6, and Knicks showed up, man. It was they weren't easy games. They had their leads, dwindled in the fourth as usual. They got to be better at closing out in these games. But the fact that they were able to stay, keep the lead or fight back to win, that says a lot about this team, man. There's a lot of grit. They don't have Mitchell Robinson. A lot of guys are stepping up. And it gives me confidence going into this week, especially when you hear Randall, saying that they weren't ready for the Nets game. This is going to be a tough week as well. You got the Lakers, Miami, the Clippers, the Sixers. This is not an easy week either, okay? We got another good team that's in the top 10 when it comes to 3-point shooting in the Clippers. Philly's just been dominant, man. They really are finding their stride as a team. Miami, they're 6 right now. They're looking to stay in that position. So that's someone, not only a long rivaled foe, but they are going to be competing. And it's gonna be a bloodbath when we see that game. That's gonna be bloodbath whatsoever. And then look, Lakers, they're a team that's struggling, but they're looking to be back in playoff. Just did the game of the week preview with Alex Hollingsworth for Lakers Central, right? Yesterday. They're 13th in the league right now, but they got 80 back. They got their 2 guys, and you would think that with having them back, they can now compete because those 2 guys, it's a top-heavy team.
Yeah.
So with those guys healthy, they'll be able to carry the Lakers, and they should probably make some noise, try to get into the play-in at least. So it's not an easy week for the New York Knicks, but after last week playing 3 top teams in the East, and you come out 2-1, and by the way, we're up on the Cavs. We're 2-1 on the season record right now with the Cavaliers. So We got one more matchup with them later in the year, I believe. Yep. Right. March 31st is the last time we play them. So, if they win that one, they win the series. That says a lot about this team competing with the Cavs, who just traded for Donovan Mitchell, right? And I'm confident going into this week, but obviously, as you said, paper, it's all played on the court. Let's see if these guys are up to the challenge yet again, because it's only getting tougher, CP. It's only getting tougher.
Yeah, definitely only getting tougher. The Lakers, as you said, they're top heavy, and it's going to be LeBron, it's going to be AD. And now you add Rui into the fold, so now they have a bit of size. Thomas Bryant playing pretty well, so the Knicks front court is certainly going to get tested, and we'll see how they fare there. Like I said, I gotta think LeBron is going to show up, but we'll see what happens there. The Heat game, another critical game. These two teams both 6th and 7th in the East respectively. Knicks, this is the first of 3 against the Miami Heat, a team that always gives the Knicks problems, a team who, despite a slow start, they're coming back into the fold. Their defense is still what it is. They're number 3 defense in the league. I'm curious to see how they handle that ball pressure by Miami. Spoelstra likes to throw different looks at you, whether it's blitzing the pick and roll, trapping the pick and roll. They'll throw some zone, some matchup zone out there. So they're certainly going to get tested. You have Bam, who's playing at a high level. I'm interested to see that Bam-Julius matchup, if they're going to be guarding each other, or if it's Sims going to be on Bam. We'll have to see how that matchup looks. With the Clippers, if Clippers, a.k.a. the Los Angeles Load Managements, we'll see who shows up there. But if you have a George and you have a Kawhi Leonard, that's another tough matchup for the Grimes and RJ ticket. See how they fare. That Clippers team shoots the 3-ball very well, so that Knicks 3-point defense is going to be tested there as well. And it's a deep Clipper team overall. So battle of the benches will be certainly one to watch. So those are some interesting games on the schedule. And then you got the Sixers, and a dominant team, a team who at full strength the Knicks don't play well against, quite frankly. And
we're not going to have Mitch either. So that's
not going to have Mitch. Not going to have Mitch for the Embiid matchup. Now you have an inexperienced Sims on Embiid. It's a tough matchup. That's going to be a very tough matchup.
Yeah,
1 o'clock game. I believe it's 1 o'clock game. Double check.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see that Sims Embiid matchup again, because last year Sims he did okay for a rookie last year going up against Joel Embiid. So I'm curious to see how he comes out. And he seems like the more playing time he gets, the more comfortable he gets. I mean, he was instrumental with just the rebounding against the Celtics. So curious to see how he matches up against Joel Embiid. But once again, that's a guy who is MVP consideration.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a battle.
Big time battle. Sixers blew a 21-point lead tonight against Orlando. Paolo Banchero with a double-double, 29 and 10. And that was in Philly. Blew a 21-point first half lead in Philly to the Magic. But, these things happen, man. So that was the week. And, again, you go 2-1. Got to be happy about it. Knicks 27 and 24 right now, sitting in 7th in the East. And with that Heat team coming in, Knicks are 1 game back of the Heat for 6th. And now 3.5 games in back of the Cavs for 5th. So, yeah, go ahead.
Christopher Jack in the chat made a good point. We got Sims has to deal with Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, and Joel Embiid this week.
Yeah.
That is work.
This is hell week for Sims, man.
And Zubac. Zubac is no easy.
Yeah, not at all.
It's no easy cover, man. Don't sleep on Zubac.
Not at all. You got to get on the boards on Zubac, man. You can't sleep. So that's going to be a test. That is certainly going to be a test. And then, Grimes is going to have his work cut out for him.
Oh, man.
Right? Grimes, he's going to have to draw Paul George. He's going to have to guard Harden. Jimmy Butler. And then who's guarding LeBron tomorrow night?
Oh, it's got to be Randall. It's got to be Randall. Please do not let it be Grimes tomorrow.
Right. So then it's Sims. You got Sims on Anthony Davis.
Yeah. He's your 5. Anthony Davis is the 5. I was talking about that yesterday with Alex, that I think you got to go that way. There's no way you're putting, because it's either Sims on LeBron or Sims on AD. I'm gonna go AD.
He's got to be Sims on AD.
Yeah, you can't get. There's no other way. This week is going to be a week.
Yeah, hell week.
Strap in. Strap
week.
up.
and last week, Grimes. I thought Grimes had he had an up and down week. I thought offensively it wasn't the best for him. Like I said, I've said on the postgame show, he had a lot of opportunities, had open looks, open threes that you want to see him knocking down, especially in late game situations. But defensively, he's once again had the hardest assignments. Donovan Mitchell. Then he had to guard Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And then he had to guard Kyrie Irving. So
that's a week.
That's a week.
That's another week coming up too. You got 2 weeks.
Yeah,
oh man,
that's a week. So, yeah, he ain't guard LeBron. So that's either gonna be RJ or Julius. The RJ Julius ticket are gonna have to take turns on that. And then we'll see where they go with AD, man. So tough matchups across the board for the Knicks this week.
And you got to think that Grimes had to, like, you saw, like, between the up and down play from Grimes this past week, and I would expect the same going into this week. You gotta think that a little bit of nerves plays into this too, because you're being asked to guard the best opposing player in his position, right? We've even seen him guard Pascal Siakam.
Yeah.
So Tibbs is giving him a major challenge, and he's only, I think he finally surpassed like a full season's worth of games. I think he's around like 85, 86 total games that he's played in his career. And so you're asking of that of a second-year player who missed time last year to injury, who's now been, because of his defensive intensity and his ability to learn quickly, he's been promoted to the starting rotation. Now you're really starting to get into the gauntlet. So I'm not expecting perfection, but I'm expecting him to learn after all these matchups, and hopefully he gets a little bit more comfortable. I think that's why you also see him rushing his shots, especially against the Nets, where he's like, you're guarding Kyrie. You're talking about one of the most prolific players right now in the NBA. When Kyrie's on, to guard someone who has those type of handles, that's a challenge. Yeah. So
he taking all those shots because you got to get back on defense.
yeah, man.
He thinking about getting back on defense and try to stop that Kyrie arsenal, man, because his bag is just unlimited. I feel you. So hopefully he gets a little bit more comfortable this week. It's for everybody. It's going to be another tough sledding week. But let's see, man. I'm not as nervous as last week. I'm a little bit more confident. But let's see how it all plays out. Yeah, no question about it. You also have the All-Star reserves will be announced on Thursday. So we'll see if Jalen and Julius make it. But on the next episode of Knicks Weekly, episode 47, we'll have our own version of the All-Star reserves. So we'll critique that and come up with our own. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. I see Jay Boogie has entered the chat. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Shout out to all of our channel members and all of our mods. If you guys want to call up on tonight's show, man, call us up 657-383-1509, or you can hit us up on the KnicksFanTV Discord. Okay? Now, in other news, Al, man, this OG thing is once again a hot topic. OG Anunoby, man, one of the targets of this NBA trade deadline, a lackluster trade deadline. Not really hearing too many big names being mentioned here, but a target for the Knicks nevertheless is OG Anunoby. And Shams of The Athletic, in his report today, says the Knicks and Suns are interested suitors in Raptors OG Anunoby. New York has shown a willingness to offer multiple first-round picks for OG Anunoby, according to those sources. It says the Suns, meanwhile, have control of all their first-round picks, 8 in total through 2030. SNY, our guy Ian Begley, first reported the Knicks' interest. Mm-hmm. So let's put some respect on his name. Now, why would the Raptors even be entertaining this? So Shams had a little bit more color on the Raptors situation. So I want to play this clip. And then let's react to it as a family here. Here's Shams on what's going on in Toronto and why they might be sellers at the deadline.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Raptors here. We're just 2 weeks away from the trade deadline, Sham. So where do they stand with that?
Well, trade-wise, OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Gary Trent, those are all guys that teams are looking at. And rival teams have been informed that the Raptors are going to make a decision closer to the trade deadline on whether they're going to be a buyer, a seller, or they might just stand pat. But one thing to keep an eye on is there's been frustration across this team, this roster, the staff at different points. And some of that, from what I'm told, has been directed at Nick Nurse. And what's fascinating is Nick Nurse is going to be entering the final year of his contract this offseason. So he signed for $8 million per year in 2020. So his future, I expect, will come into focus this year. This is a guy that won the championship in 2019, Coach of the Year in 2020. He's regarded as one of the best coaches in the league, but there is a lot of uncertainty around his future just because of how this season has gone. 12th place in the Eastern Conference with all this talent on this team. That's not how they expected the season to go in Toronto.
And that was courtesy of Bally Sports. That's Shams on Bally Sports commenting on the Raptors situation. So will they be buyers? Will they be sellers? As he says, that'll be determined closer to the deadline now. OG is out on this current Raptors West Coast trip with a wrist injury, heard it in Golden State. But yeah, that's just where it is, man. So where are you on the OG talks? We're hearing that the Knicks have already offered multiple firsts.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you on
it? I'm indifferent about trading for OG Anunoby. To be honest with you, for me, I look at the trade as, will he fit in this roster? What are the changes you're going to make? You talked about it on the Bleacher Report when you did the Q&A, and you talked about bumping up RJ to the 2, putting OG at the 3, so that way you put Grimes on the bench with IQ, which would be a good scoring punch for sure if you go that way. But what I look at, are you having enough guys who are going to be cutting off ball, good, like just overall good off ball movement, and a connector out there, because that's what you get from Grimes. So I wonder if you're going to get that from OG. But the good thing that he gives you is defensive versatility. You know that your defense will take a step up. Okay. I actually don't mind RJ playing the 2 if you have a healthy Mitchell Robinson back there, because Mitch is a safety valve. If you're saying you're going to have a quicker player who RJ has to defend and he gets past him, well, he's not going to be attacking the lane that well, or trying to get to the rack, I should say, because you got Mitch back there to protect the rim. So I think that would be fine overall. I just wonder how they all will fit, because part of the whole thing with OG is that I think he wants to be higher up on the chart of like the shot diet, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how I think of it as, because you got Pascal, you got Trent, you got Fred VanVleet, you got Scotty Barnes out there. So it's a lot of mouths to feed in that Raptors offense. Will he feel the same way if he comes to the Knicks? That's the question I have. Now, the good thing is that he has 3 years on his contract. So if he gets traded here, whatever, you got to do with what your contract says. And for the Raptors, like, they're floundering. They're not even in the play-in right now.
Yeah.
So but the thing it always comes down to is like the cost, right? So like, what are these 3 first rounders? Is it one of the Knicks unprotected and 2 others like, Washington, Dallas, one of those picks? I could live with that. As long as we're not giving up a young player too, because I think that's starting to make it steep, right? Because if we're starting to get towards Donovan Mitchell territory, I'm out, because he's not Donovan Mitchell.
But see, I think you would have to, because especially if you're dealing with us or you're dealing with another team, because what's the value of those first round picks, especially with the Knicks who are looking to improve every year, right? Like what is the value of those first round picks that you're trading for? Like if I'm an Ujiri, right? And the Knicks' own pick right now is at 21.
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I going to settle for the 21st pick in the draft and a protected pick for my prized 3-and-D wing, a coveted position in the NBA? He's 25 years old, shoots a 3-ball well. If I'm Ujiri, I don't see why he would take that. For me, I think, and we would have to obviously look at the salaries, but I think it would have to be something like a Obi, an unprotected, and maybe like a pick swap or a protected. I think it would have to be something like that.
Then who else? I guess who else are you getting back? Because I would expect. See, the contracts that match equally are Evan Fournier, right? Those two contracts. Yeah. That's OG Fournier. Those contracts equally match. So you could go. You could say, let me just load up on all the picks and just say, hey, take all these picks. Here's Evan Fournier. Let's call it a day. You can try to go that route. Or you say, as you're saying, put Obi in there. Then who are you getting back? You're getting back Otto Porter. Is that who you want to return? Another, like a stretch big who you don't mind like playing, who you don't mind, or will give you something, I guess, in 10 minutes.
Right.
Because you're going to be having Randall out there anyway. I mean, I see how that works. I wouldn't be upset. Like I said, like trading for OG, like he'd be great on this team just because you add some defense, you add versatility. At the same time, if you're the Knicks, I can also say I would be okay with keeping on to these assets, but I'd want to see them move up in the draft if you keep on to these assets or make some other move.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm looking for. So if you're going to make this move, that's fine. But if you're not making this move, I got to see something in the draft because we can't go another year, especially in a stacked draft. I got to see you fight to get your guy this time.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking 3 unprotected first-round picks, I'm at it. There's no chance I'm ever doing that. Because like I said in previous shows, his offensive ceiling is still undetermined, right? And you're right. There's several reports. It's not just what Shams was saying, but Chris Haynes has also reported that there's some issues within that locker room. Maybe it's with the coach. There's other reports of saying that OG's not happy with his role. He wants an expanded role. But you're watching him with this team, and, you know, from a shot creation standpoint, it hasn't been that impressive. But nevertheless, we need a wing, man. we need a wing. We've been saying it since the beginning of time. We need a wing, a 3-and-D wing at that. We need a wing. So whether we get one in the draft, you know, if we don't get one at the trade deadline, we definitely have to get one at the draft. We need a wing, bro. And, you know, for his skill sets, I think he can help this team. I agree with you. Offensively, how does it fit? Is Tibbs the right coach to make it fit? Probably not.
I mean, look, you got Nick Thibodeau up in the north, all right?
And they're ready to get him up out of there. This is a
and
guy
he
with
won
a ring.
Chip.
He got a ring.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen a situation like that where a guy wins you a ring, and every year it's just like, okay, when are they getting this guy up out of here? It's very interesting.
That's crazy. Yeah. That is crazy. You got to be thinking, it's like, are they saying like, that ring's got to be a little fugazi because, you know, you had Kawhi Leonard, you know, on that team. And like, you know, you had all the Warriors go down. Like you didn't have KD, you didn't have Clay up there. Like, I wonder if they're taking all of that into consideration when making that decision on Nick Nurse, because at the end of the day, he has a ring.
Right.
Wasn't that his first? Was that his first or second year with that team too? I think it was his first year with that team too. It was
his first. It was his first when they got rid of the coach of the year in Dwayne Casey, right? Yeah, man. Masai don't play around. You know, Masai does not play around, man. There ain't no sentiment, and no sentimental value, no nothing. Like once you're ready to move, we're gone. So you know, we do need a wing. I think it's smart of the Knicks to make a play there, but it's always just has to be at the right price. 3 picks, and this is what Woj is saying on the situation. Suits everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Where's my Woj thing here on OG? Give me 1 second here. This is Knicks Weekly episode 46, talking about OG Anunoby. What are you guys thinking here? Where's the Woj video? Okay, here's what Woj was saying in terms of OG. Here's Woj, courtesy of ESPN here.
OG Anunoby is a player around the league. There is great interest in him. You know, really probably the most important position in the league at that wing forward. You know, 6'7" player, two-way player. I think there's a belief that Toronto could get as many as 3 first-round picks in a deal for Anunoby if they decided to move him. They've certainly talked with teams to see what the market is on him, and I think.
So Woj is saying 3. There's a belief that there's 3. Now, I'm wondering, since Woj is like Leon Rose's guy, And we already know the Knicks have offered multiple picks. Is he getting that from Leon Rose? Like, well, we offered 2.
I'm glad that you said that.
We offered 2.
That you said that.
But they want 3.
How much of this is actually Majiri just like saying, you know what, let's put it out there that we want 3, because it's kind of been out there since you talked about when Ian Begley said the Knicks inquired about OG earlier this season, right?
Yeah.
So and this was even prior to the NBA season starting, that OG's been it's been known, so that he's been on the market. Some part of it has to be Toronto, man, because if someone really wanted OG that badly, and you hear like the value, it's a Donovan Mitchell-esque, like we heard from Zach Lowe not too long ago, someone would have made that move. You know, we talk about 3-and-D wing defenders, guys able to guard multiple positions. If that's the case, I would have expected someone to make a move right now, because you can use that anywhere. Any team can use more wings.
Right.
So I'm wondering how much is Majiri just like adding a little bit more spice to this, like, yo, whoa, let people know that, because we know that, man. We know that agents and teams are trying to, you know, negotiate through the market. This isn't the first time. So it's got to be somewhere in the middle. He's trying to raise the price.
Yeah.
Let's see what it is.
Let's see what it is, man. Salute to Alex Krampus, who just joined our KFTV, the franchise channel membership. So Alex Krampus, salute to you. Salute. I would just say this, because we did take a poll on Twitter, and let's see the results of that poll. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. On Twitter, the people have spoken, and it's pretty much down the middle, Al. It is pretty much down the middle. 50% say yes. We had 2,500 votes on Twitter. It's pretty much down the middle. 50.8 say yes. 49.2 say no. And the question was, would you trade OG if the Raptors wanted multiple first-round picks? Now, obviously, it wasn't clear the exact parameters. But 50-50, man. Interesting.
50-50. That is.
Yeah.
I kind of think it just, like, I like OG, but at the same time, is he that, I think if you get OG Anunoby, like, he makes you more of a lock to be like the 6, in my opinion, just because defensively he'll fit in, but he's not pushing you over the edge to be this top end competitor, but he's definitely a good building block.
Like I said, if it's one unprotected and a protected, or like one unprotected, maybe a swap, and like an Obi, I'd do it.
My question is this: if you get OG Anunoby, does that make RJ's future on this team in question?
Well, that was already answered for you in the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes. That was Leon already told you. If the price is right for me, RJ's a goner. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they got to look at it, bro. But that's another reason why, I want to. A lot of fans and Ari's he was on his Caps rampage. I couldn't even read half his tweets today because he was just every tweet he was just screaming. You could just tell his tone. I couldn't even read half of them. He was just screaming on everything. But the thing is, this team has already told you in more ways than one that forget going backwards. We're going forward. Leon is brought here to build, make progress, win a championship. Dolan wants progress. Everybody wants progress. But I think after losing out on the Mitchell trade or not, or for some fans, maybe winning by not parting with the package that Utah wanted, fans are now looking at when is the next home run going to come? And some fans have the opinion where don't trade any picks until it's the home run. Well, when is that going to be? You're not getting Booker anytime soon. You're not getting Embiid anytime soon. Those guys are winning. You're not getting Luka Doncic anytime soon. So what do you do with the picks in the meantime? It's either you use them to draft, You say you want to try to move up in the draft. That's not an exact science. But my point is, you may need to make a move like this to get you a little bit better to take the next step, right? To improve your team, to improve your team's defense. You're not winning no championship without a top 10 defense. There's some outliers, but you got to be locked in. And right now, that Knicks defense, I don't trust it to be consistent, whether it's regular season or in the playoffs. You got to tighten up there. So my point is, if it doesn't cost you that much to make an incremental move, you got to build somewhere. And then maybe down the line, when that guy comes, now you have more talent that you can shuffle the decks with. Maybe it's an RJ that you part with after that to go get you a Devin Booker. An RJ and more picks to go get you a Booker. Or maybe it's an Anunoby and this to go get you something else, right? Like, the position that they are right now, yes, it is mid. But if they're not planning to go backwards, they're going to have to make moves to go forward. You got 11 picks in the next 7 years. You have 11 first-round picks next 7 years. You're going to have to do something. Maybe it's incremental gains. It may not be the home run. Maybe you got to hit singles and doubles until you get to that point. But you're going to have to do something. Every draft pick is not going to be picked to jump on this roster. Every young guy on this team is not going to be signed into a second contract. So you're going to have to do something, bro.
I get all that. My thing is, like, do we need to do it now during the regular season?
Maybe not necessarily.
Or can you wait until the offseason and make that determination? Because the one thing that I've consistently harped on about this front office is, what are we doing for a talent evaluation? I feel like sometimes we cut it way too short or don't give enough time to see what these players can do, right? Whether it's Emmanuel Quickley, whether it's Cam Reddish, Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, whoever, I feel like there's just been something left when it comes to player evaluation. Mm-hmm. And so if you're going to be trading all these assets, like sometimes it's when you trade all these assets, you might be cutting your nose to spite your face without even realizing that, hey, we actually had something here and this is not the direction we need to go yet. So right. Like, I understand trading for OG Anunoby. I understand that it's crazy that what was it years ago where the Knicks didn't trade for Lowry because Dolan didn't want to get swindled by Masai again, and now here we are, we are yet again
at the crossroads
to be in a position like this. So
no,
like I get it. I would just like. I'm just a little bit more on the conservative side where it's like when you have these much assets, look, I get the heat for saying we haven't, we could have made a move for Donovan Mitchell and we didn't, and now you're posed with another opportunity again. But what about this offseason? And I look for the offseason because I feel like you could still gain some more knowledge about these players, right? And if they're winning, and this is the thing where it's like, if they're winning, if this team's winning, then the value of these players also go up, because if they're part of that winning structure, that means they're doing something right. Yeah. And then when you're trying to negotiate with a team, unlike last season, right? It's like, well, why would anyone take Randall, right? But now you got to look at this team and be like, oh, if you wanted to trade Randall, if you wanted to trade Emmanuel Quickley, if you want to trade any of these guys, it's like, well, they're part of a winning situation. These guys will help your team win. So now that price goes up even further. So that's the other thing too. Like, you could try to make deals at the end of the season too, going through the next season.
Yeah, that's fair. And I would be leery to trade any of these 2023 picks because you just never know. You never know where the Knicks will end up, right? Right now, that pick is at 21. How far back could they go? Could they get back to 15? It's not that far. Hawks are at 25 and 25. They're in 15, so you're not that far. Dallas is at 18. That Dallas pick is at 18. What if they have a catastrophic injury to, knock on wood, you're not hoping the guy gets injured. What if Luka Doncic gets injured?
Yeah.
And that Dallas pitcher, which is a top 10 protected, jumps into the lottery. So, I'm not so sure if I would put any of the 2023s in a deal. And also, you don't want to go too far into the future because you want those to maybe go get somebody else. it's a tough call, but bottom line, my overall stance is, no, you're not looking to get desperate to make a Mitchell move for a guy like OG Anunoby, but he's a guy that can help. And if you can get him at a fair price when you're sitting on a bevy of assets, you go get him.
So what's your fair price then? What would you believe to be the fair price to go trade for OG Anunoby?
Well, like I said, I'd give him an unprotected first.
Mm-hmm.
A protected first.
Mm-hmm.
I give him Obi.
Okay.
You know, whatever else it takes to make the price match. If you got to get Cam in there, you got to get Fournier in there, whatever. But that's it. You got Obi. You got Obi who's stuck here playing 10 minutes a night. As long as Randall's here, you're never gonna get anything out of him.
I hear you. And that's not that type of trade. Like if you did like a Fournier, like I said, Fournier, Obi, you get an Otto Porter who could stretch the floor for you, come out the bench.
I'm not trying to trade quick, man. I'm off the quickly train.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because
that's
the thing though, because other teams are going to say, well, we want Emmanuel quickly. Look, remember the Cam deal last year, right? They were like, can we get Grimes? Obviously, it's Cam Reddish, you know, and he was a distressed asset for the Atlanta Hawks. So it's a different situation than OG Anunoby, who the Raptors would be happy to keep, but they're also like, if you overpay, we'll gladly take the overpay too. So that's what I'm thinking that, the Obi top in, having Fournier, you get OG, Otto Porter, you give up some picks. That's all cool. But is Masai going to come out and say, we want quick?
Of course. As he should.
That's the thing.
As he should. You might lose Van Vliet. You might lose Trent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They may
lose Fred Van Vliet, and they're looking for a guard. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
They may trade Fred Van Vliet, so they may need another point guard. And if they value quickly like that, they may be asking for quick instead.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, man. Quick's balling right now, man.
I know. I don't want to lose Quick.
That's tough.
He's very key, man, to what the Knicks are doing.
Yeah. No question about it, man. No question about it. Let me hear from. We'll go to Ari last. Let me hear from. All right, E-Crossover, hang on the Discord. Hang on, E-Crossover. And for those members, and we'll make a formal announcement and put the formal instructions out there this week on the show. But for those for the channel members, make sure that you jump into the Discord and connect your YouTube to the Discord. We're gonna have the formal instructions out there because if we do that, we'll know who the channel members are in the Discord, so that when you call in, you will have priority for callers. Channel members will be first, but you got to connect your YouTube to the Discord. We will provide instructions on how to do that in Discord, just connecting your YouTube account. It's very easy, but we'll have that out there this week. Let's go to area code 917. 917, what's your name? Where you calling in from?
Yo, CP, it's JJ from Brooklyn. What's going on?
What's good,
How
bro?
you guys doing?
Hello, JJ.
How you feeling?
What up, man?
Yep.
What's good? Chilling.
Good.
Man, I don't get what the Knicks are trying to do. Are we just trying to be mid, like, for the next 5-6 years? I mean, OG, Trent, these guys are taking us to the next level. We're just going to be stuck being 7th, 8th, 9th seed for the next 4 or 5 years.
You might.
Save all these picks, trade up.
What are you gonna do with the pick? Everybody says trade up. It's not easy.
Yeah.
There's other teams in those slots that would want to pick the guy that you want. It's not easy to trade up.
Yeah, I feel it. But the one pick also you mentioned, CP, was the Wizards pick. They won like 6-7 in a row. We could get that pick if it's out of the top 14, and right now it's right around that area. So say we end up with 3 picks in the teens. You could trade out. You could trade for a star with those picks using an RJ or whoever you want to use. I would much rather just save these picks to trade up in the draft or to use it for a star. I'm not using it for an OG Anunoby. I'm just not doing that. He's not taking us anywhere. I'm sorry. He's not. He's probably take from the 8th seed to a 7th or 6th seed. Like, what are we trying to do? Just be the 8th seed forever? I'm just not with that, man. Well, that's all I really got, man. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Listen, where they are at right now, there's a ton of teams in the NBA right here. All right? You got to make moves. You got to make moves to try to improve the team and get lucky. I tell you, luck is a big part of this thing. But if they're not going to peel it back, then you got to try to make incremental upgrades until you could hit the home run and get the guy that you want. And maybe when you go for the home run, it may include players that are already on this roster or players that who you've accumulated over that time. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. No, and I mean, that's how, we talked about the Jalen Brunson move. Like you go get somebody like him. He helps you improve this team. Now you see how he's even, in my opinion, even better than what he did on the Mavericks, right?
Yeah.
So you now look at him as, you put him into like a Fred VanVleet type of category where winning player, been to the Western Conference, helping this Knicks team, leading this Knicks team, and if you have all these other players on this team that's helping you win and you're able to move Brunson and you get someone even better in return. No, I get all that. It's the thing is like, is this the best move right now? What's the thing that we don't have privy to is what's the next move that they're thinking of? Who's the next player that's going to become available?
we don't know. I just gave you the guys.
But that's the thing. That's the whole.
All the CAA guys are winning right now. You know what I mean? Embiid's good. He's chilling. Booker, who knows?
Well, watch out. Suns may do something different. Man.
Yeah, they may get to that point. Right? When the CP3 era is over, but you have new ownership. There. You have a new owner there.
Hey, we're going to talk about the Dolan interview in a second, but he said something very key, which we see throughout the league. Even the Timberwolves did it. A lot of new owners, when they come in, try to make their mark on that team, and it's sometimes detrimental.
Yeah.
So just be patient, man.
True story. E-Crossover on the Discord, man. Long time, man. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Oh, I got him muted. My bad. E-Crossover, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Long time.
Long time, man. How you been, bro?
Yeah, I've been all right, man. Just been moving around. I'm moving to a new apartment soon and everything, so I'm getting that going.
Okay.
So got other things going on with myself.
Yep.
So just to talk about this Anunoby thing, man. So I was talking to myself about this. I'm back and forth about it. It depends on the price, of course. I only give up most 2 first-rounders and a player. I might give him quickly. He'll have more value for them because they're trying to probably get rid of VanVleet. That'll be more value to them. But maybe that depends. If it's a protected and an unprotected pick, I'll give you that if we can negotiate that. The only reason why I would do the trade, because my first impression is I don't want to do the trade at all because I don't think he's worth that.
Yeah.
It's the offense that we run. We're heavy in isolation.
Yes.
I don't think him and RJ can coexist because we're already struggling to see if RJ and Randall can coexist.
Yeah.
OG Anunoby can play within the offense if RJ is not there because he's a better spot-up shooter. I think that's what he's remained consistent, shooting over always, at least for the past 4 seasons. He's shooting over 35%, 36% from the field, which is very, very good for a guy that's spotting up, and he's a 3-and-D guy. I think if you're going to get Anunoby, then you might have to think about RJ's future. That's the main thing. And then if you get all 4 of them, because I think with Brunson, Randall, and Anunoby and RJ can work if you develop RJ to be a better consistent player as a shooter and to find his role. But Tom Thibodeau needs to create a free-flowing offense.
Yeah.
If there's no passing involved into this where everybody's touching the ball, because that's why I think Grimes struggles too. He doesn't get as many touches. If they're not getting as much touches with those 4 guys that are averaging more than 15 points a game, you're gonna have people frustrated, not knowing their role, and then you're gonna have just a cluster. It's just gonna be a cluster bomb just going off because everybody's not gonna get their shots up. People are gonna be inconsistent, and that's what they need to do. So if they don't figure that out with the coaching, then don't get Anunoby. Then just figure it out then and see what you're gonna do in the offseason. But that's it, man. I'm out. Y'all have a good one, man.
Appreciate the call, man. E-Crossover. Rate that call in the chat, man. What you think about E-Crossover's points there? Rate that call in the chat, man. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. Is it tomatoes? Is it fire emojis? What do you guys think, man? Let us know. Back to the phones. 347. What's your name? Where you calling in from?
What's up, guys? It's Donald calling from the BX.
Donald from the BX. Stand up. How you feeling?
What's going on? I'm good. How you fellas doing today?
Yeah, doing all right, man.
All right. Well, let me tell you guys, I'm super excited about trading for OG, and here's why.
Okay.
So I hear a lot of people talking about offense, offense that. I think that everyone needs to understand that OG Anunoby is top 6 defender in the league. He is top tier defense. He is the best wing defensive player in the league. Like it's like in the voting. Like he's top 6. He's behind he's behind right now. Jared Jackson, then you got Nick Claxton. You got Bam Adebayo, Jared Allen, then you got OG Anunoby. League's best perimeter defender with 2.2 steals per game and 158 deflections. Yeah. So I think that he's a piece that, and he's not a free agent till, he signed through 2025. I think 2025 he becomes a free agent. So I feel like the next couple of years he could help us build. He could be that defensive anchor on the perimeter that we currently do not have with Jalen Brunson. So I think, we got to look at the picks we have, but we need to make this trade happen, and we need to make it happen ASAP because we need that dude over here, man. And it's going to pay off. Trust me.
Donald from the BX is ASAP. Get it in. What do you guys think about that, man? He says, let's go. Look, man, I'm just coming from the standpoint of we know the team stance. We know where the stance. We know the stance. They want to compete. They want to make the playoffs. They want progress. So all the tank and peel it back, they're not going that route. So my thing is, on the track that they are on, this is not a 3 first-round pick kind of guy, but he's a guy that can help the team. They need a wing badly. They need a wing badly, man. They need a wing badly. I get the concerns. I get the concerns.
Yeah, I'm with the previous car. Yeah. Was it E crossover or who was
E crossover was a previous caller.
Yeah, I'm with the E crossover in that it all comes down to how do you fit it within the offense, man. Like, yeah, that's like defense, absolutely. But the thing is that you need to be able to put the ball through the hoop.
Yeah,
offense, like we just saw what happened with. Yes, they have Kyrie Irving. But look at what the Nets did to us. Look at that ball movement. Look how free-flowing that offense was.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very serious point. Like, the Knicks are a good scoring team right now, but you add another guy to the mix that's just a clunky offense. I don't know, man. It's true that people feed off of energy, man. Like, feeding off, like, when you touch the rock, when they see the ball go through the hoop, it gets guys motivated, gets them locked in. And sometimes when that's not happening for our guys, you see guys start to, it's not necessarily lose interest, but things start to fall apart at the seams.
Fair point. Fair point. Who do we want to hear from tonight? I had Rich Sanity in there. Let's see. Rich Sanity, go ahead. Rich Sanity on the Discord. Yep. Go. Hello? Hello. Hey.
You breaking up?
I'm not breaking up. You break it up. Oh. Yeah, all right. We got to get him up out of here. Tell me I'm breaking up. We on fiber optics over here, my man. You check your connection, pal. All right. Ari, let's go. I'll mute your mic.
What's up, CP? What up, Alex? How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
What up?
I'm not doing well, bro. That was the worst call I've ever heard in my entire damn life.
Wait, which one? Which one? Donald from BX or E crossover?
No, Donald from BX. That was awful. That was absolutely awful. The guy wants to get fleeced, dude. Listen. All right. What is this? That they want 3 unprotected picks for OG Anunoby?
No. That is what Woj says. The belief.
Right.
That's a lot of fluff there. The belief.
Okay, but I'm saying you said it yourself. You traded 2 picks, right? Because of the trajectory they're on. I know you don't want to go this route, CP. I know you're with me.
Yeah.
I know you're with me, but but assuming that they're going on this route, which is a completely wrong route to go on, which I will fight tooth and nail for the rest of my life, okay?
Okay.
Assuming that they go on this route, okay? It's still not worth it. Dude, this is a team it's a team full of role players, and we're trying to trade draft picks for a role player? Like, we need a superstar and we need a new coach. So unless OG Anunoby knows how to coach, then I don't see what we're doing here. It's crazy, dude. You saw how expensive Donovan Mitchell cost?
Yep.
Right? We need every draft pick we get, bro. Every single one. I don't care if it's a fake one, a fake first pick, or a heavily protected thing. We need to be adding assets. Why is Masai Ujiri right now, who people consider a top 5 GM in the league? Why is he okay with trading the best wing defender in the league right now?
It's a little dicey on your connection, man. It's a little dicey on your connection.
Hold on.
All right.
I'm in my bag right now. Give me a second. You hear me? No, yeah. You hear me? You hear me now or no?
Yeah. You good.
Yeah. So why is Masai Ujiri considering trading the best wing defender in the league, who's 24 years old, who only has 2 years left on his contract?
Yeah.
Why is it okay why is he doing that?
Yeah.
Because he's picking the right direction. He's gonna get in the lottery. He's gonna get another top pick or a lottery pick or whatever, and he's gonna build organically through the rebuild. If OG Anunoby, if Woj is saying 3 first-round picks and OG's going for 2, what could Julius Randle go for with the way he's playing? We could probably get 3 first-round picks for this guy, especially if Phoenix. I know they're not going to do it, but Phoenix is calling up.
Julius Hive ain't gonna like that, man. They sensitive this year, man. If Robert Randolph is listening, he's gonna air you out on Twitter. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. He should be lucky to air me out. I have a bigger following on Twitter than that guy, bro. Right? Forget about Robert Randolph, bro. Listen, let's stick to this. We need to trade. We need to get draft picks.
Yeah.
We need to get draft picks. So, if you want to listen, if the Knicks are committed to Randall, it's a disaster, right? But then trade Obi for second rounders or something, or protected for first, or Cam Reddish, get me 2 second rounders, and then trade those 2 second rounders and another second rounder for a late first. And then you gotta do those type of moves, bro. You gotta add assets right now. You could draft a wing. You could draft a defensive wing. OG Anunoby was the 23rd pick in the draft. We have 2 draft picks. If you can't package those draft picks to move up, then draft 2 guys. Redshirt 2 guys the same way the Warriors drafted Kuminga and Moses Moody.
And that's working out well for them.
Reset the rookie contracts if you have to. But why are we going to trade draft picks to not add any, what's OG going to do? We're still a first-round exit, right, CP?
Yeah.
Right. So, what's the point then? I'd keep the picks then. You never know, dude. Look, they got Grimes in the 20s. They got Quickly in the 20s. They got Sims in the 40s.
Yeah. That is one thing. Their ability to draft. Now, the Obi thing was a big disaster, and it will be when he's done here. But the other picks at the spots that they got him have been good. I mean, look how quickly he's playing right now. You got to like Grimes.
Yeah.
We'll give McBride some time. Rokas is balling out in Spain.
How would OG even who's going to the bench? Is OG coming off the bench?
You put Grimes. You put Grimes on the bench.
You put Grimes on the bench. Okay.
You put Grimes on
so then RJ slides to the 2?
Yeah. Slide RJ to the 2. You put OG at the 3.
He could do it, I guess.
You finally have someone that can guard wings in this league, and you're not wishing. You're not undersized every night.
So we're instead of an 8 seed, we're a 7 seed or a 6 seed. I don't know, dude. Dude, someone's got to stand up to this stuff. Listen, bro. I'm sorry, dude. I'm not. If OG's getting me 2 first-round picks, then Randall's getting me 3, and I'm trading him. And if I'm not doing that, dude, I'm sorry, bro. I'm not trading first. I'm not trading picks. I'm drafting them. It's not like these picks expire. You draft the players, all right? And then you develop them, or if they sit on the bench for a year or whatever, we need depth, right? Isn't everyone saying we need depth? We need a wing. Draft a wing, and he'll play next year. He'll be the 7th man, all right? But I don't have to pay more. I don't have to trade draft picks to help Masai Ujiri do a rebuild, so we could just be a 7 seed. These Knicks fans, oh my God, it's disgraceful, dude. All right, listen, bro. I'm done here, but Just that was a terrible call from that guy. It just gets me upset, bro. I'm sorry, man. I'll bounce. I'll talk to you guys later.
He just missed himself. I didn't have to do anything. He said, I'm out of here, man. What do you guys think in the chat? Rate Ari's call in the chat. He said he wanted to be the voice of reason for the people. Is he speaking for you? Is he speaking nonsense? 1 being trash, 5 being facts. Is it tomatoes? Is it fire for Ari tonight? What's it going to be? You be the vote. You people in the chat. This is your show.
He was besides himself, man. He heard our guy from the BX.
He went ballistic. Whoa. He went ballistic on it. He went ballistic on it. He did. Man.
I don't disagree, though. We've been good at drafting in the later rounds. You need a wing, have him on a rookie contract.
Yeah,
you're not gonna have Obi. At this rate, unless there's something catastrophic. Like it's either unless they're willing to surprise us with a Randall trade.
Yeah.
Or something goes completely catastrophically wrong.
He threw that in there several times. Randall Hive was not happy about that.
But like, if something like that happens, like I don't see Obi being here. Sadly,
yeah.
You know, part of the Obi Hive. That's my dude.
Yeah.
All right. Took a photo with Dunker's Delight with his pops.
Yeah, he did. I'm not sure if I put that one up there, but yeah, he did.
You did. All right. Chilled with his uncle too. You know, shout out to both of them.
Nice.
I would hate to see it, but the way that this team is going right now, it's, you know, Randall's getting the bulk of the minutes, rightfully so, playing like an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one rookie contract out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the next thing is like, do you think about Emmanuel Quickly? Is he going to resign? Like, yes, he's going to be a restricted free agent, but will someone swoop in and overpay to go get him on their team? These are things that this team's got to think about, man, after this season. So it might not be a bad idea to go into this draft and go get your wings.
Yeah.
Because you might need to reset some rookie contracts.
Yeah. I think so. I think so as well. I agree with him. You could just go into the draft and get a guy. Would he be a ready-made, ready to play, ready to handle Tibbs? That's left to be seen. You know, Tibbs doesn't have patience for development at this point. He's trying to win.
I'll say this. We've been lucky with two. IQ
lucky.
And Grimes.
IQ and Grimes have been ready from day one.
Yep.
So, the draft is a crapshoot. You know, this is certainly possible, man. Certainly possible. Thought he had some good points there. He tried to pack Julius up, man.
Multiple times.
If OG could get 3, then... Not even talking about what Julius makes right now, the fact that he's got 4 years left on his deal. No. If OG can get 3, then Julius can get...
I mean, OG's not an all-star, so he's got a point, man.
Oh, man. Does he? Who knows? Who knows, man? So to everybody in the chat once again, hit that thumbs up button.
Didn't Sabonis net back Halliburton and Buddy Hield?
He did.
That's quite valuable, man.
He did.
That's valuable.
It is. And it's serving both teams well right now.
Yeah.
You know? You got both guys could be all-stars.
Absolutely.
It's about as fair a trade as you can get right now. You know.
Yeah. It's about, absolutely.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Support our sponsors out there, people, man. Go to manscaped.com. Use promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Check out Prize Picks. Make your Prize Picks tomorrow for the Knicks versus Lakers game. PrizePicks.com, promo code KFTV for an instant deposit match of up to $100. And also... check out Athletic Greens. Go to athleticgreens.com/KnicksFanTV. And with your purchase, they will give you a 1-year free supply of vitamin D plus 5 travel packs. Check out Athletic Greens for you people who, health conscious. You people that want to get your health in order and are looking for a boost. Okay, so I thought we had a nice constructive debate on the OG stuff. Let's go to as I was saying, Dolan did his media tour last week. What's that?
Where was yours?
They didn't call me. They didn't call us, man. I figured he went to good in New York. He went to Evan and Carton on WFN. I figured he'd want to, talk to the number one show for the fans by the fans.
I thought he would want to talk to the fans, right?
I thought yeah. He says he wants to talk to the fans, and he goes to these places, And shout out to WFN; those are my guys there. But
for sure.
I was expecting a call from my friends at MSG PR. I was expecting a call. But let's hear a couple of these sound bites, specifically from the Dolan interview with Carton and Roberts. And this was Jimmy D on his opinion of Leon Rose. There it is.
Do you think Leon Rose has done a good job?
Yes, absolutely. They look. I mean, it's funny. I was just talking to Leon. Why did I bring Leon in? I mean, I've been doing this for like now 20-something years, right? And in my experience with the NBA, I mean, you can. There's things you can do as an owner, right? You can create an environment where everybody's, give them enough money to do their job, give them more money than they need to do their job. You can stay out of the way, right? Which is usually the best course of action. But you do end up picking the one guy who's going to make all the strategy, right? Who's going to execute for you, right? And I picked Leon because I believe, after you look at the NBA and the game that we play, that the team with the best talent, right, wins.
Period. Stop.
Leon Rose is, so then you want a guy who can get you the best talent, right? And I believe that Leon Rose is still the best guy.
Is there a timetable on when you've got to win?
No, I'd say that it's less of a timetable. I mean, though, eventually, eventually there's a timetable, right? But but right now, what we're looking for is progress, right? We want to build into a championship team. We fully expect to make the playoffs this year.
All right. So Leon gets his vote of confidence. He thinks he's doing a good job. There's not a specific timetable yet, which is understandable. But he wants progress, and he expects to make the playoffs. He said Leon is the guy to go out there and get the best talent, but he hasn't done that just yet. So, question for you, Al, question for you guys in the chat. 1,500 people in the chat. Let's get those likes up. What's the grade you give Leon so far? I've always gone with a C because it's incomplete. There have been some good things, as we point to the drafting of a Quickly, the drafting of a Grimes at the position that you got him from. You look at the acquisition of a Brunson, he's been brilliant, playing at an all-star level. They did make the playoffs in the first year. Whether you want to say it's an aberration year, fans in the seats, they made it. They had a great year. They made it. All right? They had a bad year last year. I thought last year's free agency was a disaster. Bringing in Kemba, bringing in Fournier, re-signing Rose and Noel and Burks, that completely blew up in their face. They had a terrible year. And now that these guys aren't even playing. Burks is gone, bad move. Noel's gone, good move. Rose, Fournier, Kemba's gone. The Rose, Fournier not even playing. Cam situation. Terrible trade. They didn't even have a plan for him. Now he's out of here. Last year's offseason and midseason acquisitions were terrible. Right? How far can they go with Tibbs? To be determined. And they didn't get the big fish yet. So for me, it's a C. How about you?
I'm going to go B-.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking somewhere between C+, B-. And you mentioned all the flaws that they did, right? And we can go back through all the... I got my cat just ruining stuff back here, so
nice.
Just trying to make sure they're not destroying anything. But,
good.
I'm looking at what he's done through, like, if you look at free agent-wise, last year was a wash. You talked about Kemba, Fournier, absolutely. But bounce back, you get Jalen Brunson, and he's been the goods, worth every single penny that we needed from him on this team, to be Captain Clutch, as you call him, to be instrumental to this team's turnaround for this season. Just really been the catalyst for why they've been winning. So I gotta consider that. Also using his connections, right? Because they got charged with tampering, so they believe that there was some sort of connection to help get him there, right? So using that draw to bring him here to New York for a team that's rebuilding, trying to become a better team that they have been years past. Got to give credit there. The trade for Derrick Rose, another solid move. You got Dennis Smith Jr. out of here, wasn't contributing whatsoever. Derrick Rose was instrumental for what the Knicks did to make that 4 seed that season. Okay. You want to talk about the drafting? Drafting's been on point for the most part.
Yeah.
Outside of Obi, because that's been a struggle because of Julius Randle. But even in the minutes that you see Obi play, he still could be hyper efficient in his limited minutes. But you got to like what you're seeing from Quentin Grimes. He's a starter now. Emmanuel Quickly, he continues to develop really well. Jericho Sims, a solid find. So I look at those guys, and even McBride. Look, McBride is playing right now. I like the way that the guys have progressed between our second and third year players. So that's good stuff right there. So between the drafting, bouncing back from free agency, now you have all the young guys playing. Yeah, you got your hiccups here and there, but even for as critical as I've been, I'll give them a B-. They're not going to get an A. They're not going to get higher than a B because I still don't like how they negotiated for Donovan Mitchell. I thought it was all over the place. Didn't like last year's free agent signings. I did not like how they didn't try to push Tibbs to play the young kids more last season.
That's a good point.
But I don't think that they've been so. And look, I also got to like the draft assets. Like we have draft capital.
We have assets. So we can debate how valuable they are, right? But we have assets. So you got to look at all those things, and it's been much better than what we've had in years past. So I'm gonna give them a B-. Okay.
Not an A. It's not a B+. It's not a B. But I'm gonna go with a B- because I think it's when you look over, it's better than average. I think it's better than average, which is a C. Slightly better than average.
That's fair. Now, here's Dolan. A lot of the knocks on Dolan. There's many and some warranted, but a lot of the knocks. He's always meddling, which I thought was always a stretch. But here is his response to Craig Carton's question on meddling. This is a James Dolan interview, courtesy WFAN.
A few moments with us today. Would the meddling James Dolan have forced Leon Rose's hand to make the trade for Donovan Mitchell?
Well, that's exactly. I didn't.
You would have, though, in the past. Is that fair to say?
Oh, not in the last 10 years, right? My attitude has changed. And every new owner, right, comes in thinking that they've got the answer to the how to make the team successful. Not to disparage my fellow owners, but there are franchises out there with owners over the last few years. You can look at new owners who have come in, who have thrown in a lot of money, et cetera, and they're not doing as well as they thought. You really got to leave a lot of this strategy to the guys, right, who have dedicated their lives and their careers to.
Is that hard to do, though?
My deal with Leon and with Tibbs, et cetera, is that I get to speak, right? Their deal is they don't have to listen to me.
By the way, I want that deal here. They can speak. Now, you have a teenage.
Yeah, he gets into the ranges there. So he says he leaves it to those guys. He leaves it to the experts. The thing on Dolan, I would say, I don't agree when people say, well, he doesn't care if the team does good or bad. He just wants to make money and as long as they're building his pack, he doesn't care. I don't think that's true. Every owner, you own a team. Yes, you want to make money. It's business, right? It's capitalism. But you want to see a team win.
That's how you get to increase ticket prices.
That's how you get to increase the ticket prices and the value of your team. You want to see the team winning.
Also, playoff tickets are super expensive.
Right. So I don't agree with the fact that, as long as people are selling out, he doesn't care. It adds to your resume. It adds to your ego if your team is winning, if you have a championship team, if you have a winning team. Dolan is at Summer League every single year. Front row. Summer League. You know what I'm saying? He's there. The 2 times I'm at Summer League Dolan, he's front row. Gang of models on his arm. That's a whole nother story. Gang of them. You know what I mean? But he's there.
Just had to bring that one up.
Yeah. He's Jimmy D, man. He's high rolling out there. He's got the MSG Sphere being built. He's doing his thing out there. So I don't believe that he's not invested in the team because he's there. He's in preseason. He's during the season. You see him with the scowl on his face right next to the bench. So he's there. I just think the biggest issue with him is Is he picking the right guys to build a team? Because no one that he's picked has panned out. Whether it's Isaiah, it's Mills, Donnie Walsh, Phil was a disaster. So that's another reason I'm giving Leon a C, because I just don't know if I can trust Leon to get the job done, because everyone before him has failed. And the thing about Dolan, with the exception of Phil, the thing that I will give him credit for is that he does allow these guys to do their thing. Until
now he does.
Until Ish hits the fan. Look how long of a rope he gave Isaiah. Look how long he gave Mills. You know what I mean? I mean, look how long he gave Mills. The Phil thing, it was just, the writing was on the wall. It was beyond obvious. Like the Phil thing is a disaster. We got to pull the plug fast, right? Between the falling asleep at the meetings, making marketing.
But we could have had Booker and Laurie Market.
Well,
and
yes.
CP.
But he's trashing Melo in the papers, then trying to trade him. Like, it was all kind of wacky stuff.
No, it was all
so
horrendous.
And then the fans spoke out and he acted on it. So I think he's gonna have. I say that to say I think he's gonna have patience with Leon Rose. I think he's gonna give him a lot of time. But the question is, can Leon deliver? And is he the right guy for the job? Because the past umpteenth presidents that Dolan has hired have been terrible.
I think it was a KG7 in the chat that said they couldn't get any worse, and I'm like, we've seen worse. This front office could have been a lot worse. So yeah. I understand your C, and like I'm even seeing some of the chat saying they hired Tibbs, so that wasn't the right move either. But the team's winning.
Team made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs. They're competing right now. They're playing defense. Is Tibbs perfect? No, but from what we've seen in the past, that's why I go with the B-, man.
Yeah.
Right now under Leon Rose, if they make the playoffs, that would be 2 seasons, 2 out of 3 under Leon Rose that they made the playoffs. You got some quality players from the draft. You got draft assets. The negotiating is a little shaky, because that was good grief, man.
Yeah.
That draft, I could not. It was all over the place, man. It was either Obi, RJ, picks. No, that was terrible. But look, I'm going with B- still. But,
okay.
Hey, you see that Dolan is giving these guys free reign, as you said. So that's good, because I think the thing that everyone goes back to is the Carmelo Anthony deal, where you really gave up some of your draft capital. You gave up some players that could have helped, and you weren't able to build around Melo. And a lot of it was outside of the one season, 2012, 2013 season.
They made the playoffs multiple years, though. They made the playoffs.
They did.
3 out of
First
4.
For 3 in a row. First 3 years. As soon as he got here, 3 years.
They made the playoffs.
3 years in a row. Absolutely. But after that, you want to continue to build around Melo, because he still had a lot in the tank, and we just didn't have the supporting cast around him. Like Courtney Lee wasn't going to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Derrick Rose was MIA that first season. Joakim Noah didn't work. So it wasn't pretty.
I would have meddled in the Melo deal. I said it before. I would have jumped in on that. Not obviously we don't have all the facts.
You go get Melo. I'm not saying you don't go get
right.
Melo.
But for people saying he's meddled, he meddled, I would have done the same thing. Again, not knowing all the facts. But if what was reported was true, and that you had Melo with the chance of Melo signing with the Nets outright in the offseason, I would have pulled the trigger on the deal. I'd already invested in Stat, which was, in hindsight, not great. I'd already invested in Stat. The team had been went through the whole Isaiah years, atrocious. Donnie Walsh did all that work to untie the knots. We flopped on the decision, right in our backyard. LeBron, I'm going to Miami Heat. Heartbreaker, stabbed him right in the chest. I would have jumped in on the Melo deal and taken the risk.
All I'm saying is that, and I hear what you're saying. All I'm saying is that, as a fan base, when we think about James Dolan coming in and meddling, it's that one that's always the first one to be chosen, because when you had Melo, we couldn't give him a supporting cast after those first 3 years. And you're
Correct.
like, well, what if we did have the draft picks? What if we did have Mozgov? What if we did have Gallo? You know, it's all those questions that say, please don't enter the room.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All fair. All fair. So that was some on the Dolan stuff. A couple quick ones, quick hitters. Al, we'll do some quick hitters on the Dolan interview here.
Sorry, Ari in the chat.
What did Ari say?
He said, I mean, if I was an owner, I'd appoint myself GM.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? Like, who wouldn't? You know what I mean? I'm running the goddamn New York Knicks. I'm in charge here. You know what I'm saying? Go get me Carmelo Anthony, man, and get these guys up out of here, man. I did like Mozgov, though. The Mozgov move, that was a good move. That was a good pickup, man. I like Mozgov. Mozgov got the bag, too. Remember that year, that free agency year? When everybody got the bag, like Robin Lopez, Mozgov, what's his name? Got the bag off the playoff year with Orlando. He's Biombo. Biombo got the bag.
God,
Remember that year? They were handing out bags, man. I forgot what year that was, man.
Oh, it was when the cap just, what was it? Like
this was like 2017, I think.
It was like, yeah, something between like 15 to like 17, something like that.
Yeah, everybody got
because
bags,
Mozgov
man.
went to the Lakers, right? It was when he went to the Lakers and he
Yes.
got that crazy 60 million. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, Mozgov got bags, man. Oh man. Okay. Here is Dolan. Is he selling the team? What everybody wants him to do? What's he gonna do?
Sell.
I have no plans whatsoever to sell at this point. I'm not retiring anytime soon, right? It's a family-controlled asset, so you know the someone in the family will
own it.
Will
all right, let me get you to the next.
All right, so there's that. Hey, look,
But
if
if you listen to further that, it's not that he's not only not selling, it's gonna go to someone in the family too.
Yeah, as it should.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
I know.
Just let him know the Dolans are still gonna be owning this thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, who knows? Maybe he gets an offer he can't refuse, but for right now, we're stuck with him. for better or for worse. So get your tickets, get your season tickets, and get your face scanned when you come into the Garden, because that was the reason that he really came in there with his, and he always comes to all these interviews with his notebook full of notes and prepared statements. You know what I'm saying? So you already know.
But he used etc. and right way too many times.
Oh, he says right every single time, man. He buckles under the spotlight, man. Buckles under the spotlight. But he comes with his notes and prepared statements by MSGPR. So here's what he said.
We got Kevin Knox.
Yes. Here's what he said on the use of facial recognition technology at MSG. Here's what he said.
If you're suing me, right, that you should stay away, right, until you're done suing, until we settle the argument that you have, right, and because you're confrontational with your suit. And
All right, so this is where the fans are in this, because the average fan, Knicks fan, Ranger fan, someone that enjoys going to your buildings for concerts, et cetera, say, okay, if you're going to use it against the lawyers that are involved in suits against you, I'm a passionate fan. I'm critical. I don't like the decisions you made.
No, you don't think fans are critical, do you?
You know they are. Would you?
If they weren't, you wouldn't have a radio show.
Also very true. They're critical of us too. Trust me. The concern amongst fans is that you could then weaponize the technology to keep your detractors out of the building. And people want to know, would you do that? Are you doing it? Will you do that?
Okay, so look, we use the that's a long answer, but I think the answer is basically no.
Basically
right?
no.
Except if you become confrontational, right? And confrontational with other fans, confrontational with the staff, confrontational with the ownership, right? And you really have to be confrontational. Your team sucks, right? Do a better job, right? I'm gonna say we will next game, right? Come again.
So fans shouldn't have any fear that being critical of ownership or the team or any of the teams could potentially lead to being banned using facial recognition.
No, that's not going to happen. That's
all right. So Ari says you're safe. Triple M, he says you could enjoy your tequila, just relax a little bit,
For now.
And that's that. That's that, man. But basically, he said, if you're suing them, you can't be in the building. I agree with that. I don't know about you, Al. You've come from the legal side of life. I agree with that. If I own a business and you're suing me, don't come to my establishment, at least until the thing is over with. I agree with that. What say you?
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Was it the person? But they were from. The person was from the firm, right? Were they the person directly suing them? That's the thing that
I'm not sure. I didn't look too deep into it.
Because if it was someone who just works at the firm, that's kind of, I'm like, yeah, come on, man. Like, someone at the firm.
You're guilty by association, pal.
Yeah, it's like, come on now. I don't know. That's a little stretch. If it's the actual person or the person that is suing you, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it's just someone from the firm, that means
if you're associated with
York
the firm,
New York is the capital of law firms.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
hey, man.
And now you're telling me the paralegal, the legal assistant can't come to MSG, go watch a Knicks game? Come on.
But here's the thing. Like, what type of research are they doing to identify all these people and where they work and all of that? That's where this thing gets a little kind of crazy. You know what I mean? With this facial recognition stuff, it's like, and then what are they doing with all the information? Where's all the information going? What are they doing with the CP franchise profile when I walk in there tomorrow? Like, what does it say on my record?
Was harsh on Julius. Maybe he shouldn't be here. Is he sitting courtside? We don't know.
Known Julius hater. Do not give him access to anything. Nothing.
Special request from Mrs. Randall.
Yeah. Do not put him anywhere near the family. Oh man, what a place! What a place, man. But yeah, he says you guys are safe. Just don't come down and heckle him. And if your name is Oakley, you can't come in forever.
He did talk about, right? Like, if you're gonna have, like, he even talked about the incident where there were fans who had profanity with his name or image on the shirt. And he's like, yo, just cover it up. You can come in. They didn't want to cover it up. And he's like, all right, don't come in. Like, I get that. I totally get that. It's a private venue.
Yeah.
Even though it's to the masses for everyone to come in to go enjoy an event. I get that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be if you're gonna be like threatening me and stuff like that and just like insulting me in my own house, I'm not gonna be letting you in the house.
Shout out my guy Do Things, though. That my guy Do Things showed up and they picked him to do the half-court shot.
Oh, yes.
And they wouldn't let him rock his KnicksFanTV hoodie.
I know. That's crazy.
Just a little Easter egg for the people out there.
They know, man. The ops.
the ops would not let him rap.
Why James Dolan was ducking KFTV, man.
So it ain't just profanity on the shirts. It's a marketing thing. Look, it's a marketing thing. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But, would not let my man take his free throw in the KnicksFanTV hoodie.
I think Dolan should have still came on our show, man.
Yeah, I think so. I thought so.
Like you hang out with Evan Roberts, Craig Barton. I mean, Roberts is a Rangers fan. He's a Nets fan, though. I mean, come on. You didn't want to hang out with two Knicks fans? You said you love the basketball team. We're right here.
Right here. We go live after every game. Number one show for the fans by the fans. We got the game. We do Knicks Weekly. We do a Knicks Weekly. You know what I'm saying?
Game of the week preview.
We're doing game of the week preview. We got fans from all over the world calling in. Shout out my guy Ashwin holding it down in India. You know what I mean? Speaking facts. My guy from Scotland called in. He's up. Eyes bloodshot, man. 3 a.m.
Australia might as well have an investment into this team.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon to our people in Australia here. Where else are they doing that, bro? Nowhere else but the number one show for the fans by the fans. And we can close on that note. That's it. But you know what, bro? Like I said, I always say to people, this shows it's bigger than the team. It's bigger than wins and losses. All right? We are a community of fans worldwide. We come together and build constructive conversations. We have great interviews with people who are coming from all walks of life, whether they cover a team, whether they do something special in their own life. This is what we bring here to number one show for the fans by fans. We are connecting people. We are inspiring people. We are motivating people. And that is going to go down regardless of what this team does, regardless of who owns the team. Whatever they want to do with security, it doesn't even matter. It's bigger.
It's a fact. Now look, man, shout out to the whole KFTV squad. We got a whole squad covering this team.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a whole squad, man. Shout out TM, shout out Gambo, shout out Jared, Tyler, everybody at the .com. You know what I mean? Jeff, Chip,
We're
Mike,
writing about it.
Luke, Jalen.
We're doing videos about it.
Yeah. Shout out JD, shout out Edgar.
The owner could at least grace us with his presence. Look, man, you don't even have to go to a studio.
Yeah.
Just throw up your camera on your laptop.
Throw up the camera, man. You know, when you're in the helicopter, just hit the zoom. And we'll be right here.
I'll be impressed with that one.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
just no speakerphone. Just no speakerphone, and that's it. Make sure your connection is proper. No speakerphone, and have a conversation with us.
And if you're really good, you download the Discord, hop in there, crispy clean. All right.
Yeah. Crispy clean audio on the Discord. Remember, for our YouTube channel members, number one, make sure you're in the Discord, and number two, we're gonna put out the instructions later this week, but make sure that you are connecting your YouTube account to the Discord. That way we know who all the channel members are on the Discord, and we have a separate members only lounge, and that's where you will have the priority to get on through the phone. So we'll know exactly who you guys are, and you will have first dibs on the calls, right? So great show. Let me get to the super chat. Salute to Ari, man. Salute to Ari. Good show, Ari. Let me get to super chats real quick. And yeah, man, 1,300 in the chat, going strong. Great show, man. Let me shout out. Who do we want to shout out here? Jamaica Queens 22 says it's going to be a long time before this team wins a title. Lord. Joseph Kidlaw, salute. Jub, $5 super chat says my trade prediction: Obi and Thaddeus Young for Toppin, Fournier, Knicks 2024 lottery protected, Pistons 23, and Washington 23. Okay. All right. He says we got to make moves before our season is over. Make a move for OG Anunoby, Eric Gordon, and a stretch 5. Maybe Olynyk, Bamba, or Reed. We're running out of time. Oh, that was actually his super chat from the last show, which was the last super chat. So shout out to Jub. And yeah, man, once again, people, remember that the show's available in audio podcast format. No reason to miss it. Shout out to our sponsors, Manscaped, Prize Picks, Athletic Greens as well. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Knicks versus Lakers. LeBron, AD coming to town. Will they play? I hope so. Make sure, speaking of the Lakers, make sure you guys catch that Game of the Week preview. Watch that next, or listen to it next. Shout out our guy Alex from Lakers Central. Alex and Alex on the ones and twos. Make sure you catch that preview, man. Al, anything else you wanna say on the Lakers show?
Yo, covered a lot of ground as usual. I'll be interested to see, because we did. It's weird to use my name. Alex and I discussed whether who's going to be guarding RJ, because he said Pat Bev is going to start off the game guarding RJ, and not Lonnie Walker. I was a little confused by that, but he said what Ham likes to do is throw Pat Bev on all the wing defenders to start the game. So I'm gonna be interested to watch that one. We're gonna heat each other up if that's the case, because that's, to me, I don't know why you do that, but hey,
yeah,
make sure to go check it out. Great conversation. We talked about all the storylines for the Lakers. Got to break down the game, did the X's and O's, how the Lakers play. Should be an interesting battle. So go make sure to check that out, and also go make sure to check out KnicksFanTV.com. All right.
Let's do it, man. Great show, man. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.